Opening credits: Natalie Curtis, the working supermum; Elijah Arantz, the motivator; Emma Lynham, the entrepreneur; Melissa Kirkman, the artist; Hannah Smedley, the musician; Adam Broadstock, the man about town. Fearless, Season 4. Films of people with disability carving careers.
Hello and welcome. My name is Karen Crouch, Chief Executive at Feros Care. Today I'm hosting this online launch from the lands of the Tweed Shire region, and I wish to acknowledge and recognise the generations of people of the Bundjalung Nation who have lived in and derived their physical and spiritual needs from the forests, rivers, lakes and streams of this beautiful valley over many thousands of years as the traditional custodians of these lands. I also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which you are all viewing today's event. Thank you all for joining us for this very special premiere launch event. Through our NDIS Local Area Coordination Services at Feros Care, we are proud to support people with disability to be empowered in the workplace. And as a charity owned by the community for the community, we hold a commitment to help change the status quo and challenge societal views for many of the marginalised communities that we work with and support. We are proud to bring these initiatives together through our Fearless film series, And this all-new season will continue to shape important conversations around living with disability. Season 4 of Fearless Films features people with disability carving out careers and shaping their futures in meaningful employment or as emerging entrepreneurs. Our film stars have been supported by Feros Care in our key local area coordination regions of Mackay, Townsville, the ACT and South Australia. We are particularly proud that this series is a truly all-inclusive filmmaking project, featuring not only people with disability in front of the camera, but also behind the camera. And this includes emerging filmmakers with disability who have contributed towards the making of these films. We are so privileged to have engaged Ironbark Films alongside talented students from Bus Stop Films. Together with our team members, they have made this new series come to life. Let's have a look at the project team and see some of the students in action in a behind-the-scenes glimpse to the all-inclusive made Fearless Films Season 4.
On screen, all-inclusive all the way. Tanya Sim, Executive Producer.
Fearless Films is always about challenging the narrative around stereotypes and societal views on what it is to age or what it is to have a disability. In Season 4, we've turned the dial and explored what it is to live with a disability and carve a career. Every season of Fearless Films has always worked with emerging filmmakers. What made this year extraordinary is working with the students.
We had 6 Bus Stop Film students join us throughout the production.
A strong focus in our Accessible Film Studies program is securing paid employment for participants in film and TV. It is really important for us to see participants out there working in the industry.
They're in paid employment in this role, and what we're trying to do is create a pathway for their employment as well by giving them the experience on set. For us, that was a special dimension to this project and one we're really proud of.
Stephanie.
I just loved getting to knowing these stories that we were telling. Being in a new place too is pretty awesome. I've never been to Townsville before.
Daniel.
It's been a really awesome opportunity. People here have been really great to work with.
Alex.
Throughout this thing, I've mainly focused on slate/clapperboard and one of the fill lights. Yeah.
Alicia.
Pretty amazing, got to do new things and also carry a really heavy backpack, and I didn't complain.
We had students learning how to slate, we had students learning camera operation, students interviewing. All of these different skills are universal on documentary projects the world over.
Julian.
We went to an avocado farm, we went to the basketball courts when the sun was rising, and we did some beautiful, beautiful shots there.
Lewis.
Oh, I've been doing a mixture of everything. It's a bit of camera operating, slating, a little bit of lighting.
So I learned how to slate on the clapper.
Take one.
My favourite thing in the world.
Charlie.
A lot of the terminology that I don't know about, that was a key takeaway, and it's something I'll use on other film sets.
Benjamin.
This is the first set that I've worked on that has people living with disabilities. It almost wasn't a thing in my brain that there was this big wide world of people that could shoot, that could do all of these incredible things, because I just hadn't had the opportunity to work with those people.
When you have a combination of experience levels, you get the full spectrum of the possibilities when it comes to problem solving.
They just embraced the opportunity, connected with the story makers, connected with the film crew, and they just brought the energy level up. It was extraordinary.
I think because they're students from a film school, they are passionate about their craft and about learning.
And I think that actually made everyone else really passionate about the project too.
It would be such a good addition to any film set that I'm on.
This is an all-inclusive filmmaking project, and it's the first time we've done something of this kind.
It's opened up doors for employment for students in our programs, and it's been brilliant to see them travelling around, being part of the productions. It makes me so happy in my heart.
If you're going to employ anyone in the future, employ me, not my brother.
Well, to me, you not only get a really good camera assistant, but you get a decent bloke, and Louis not that, so.
Inclusion fosters collaboration. When people are able to contribute to something, they enjoy it more. And when people love what they're doing, that's when you get the best results.
Really hoping the viewer walks away just challenged by watching these films and asks themselves, what could I do to support somebody with a disability and include them more in my workplace? Everyone has a gift, and it's about allowing people to have their gifts shown. It's been a really exciting journey.
This one's definitely going to be up there as a career highlight.
It was an amazing experience that I'll never forget.
I loved it.
Fearless Season 4, People with Disability Carving Careers.
It's always great to see what goes on behind the scenes in filmmaking, isn't it? Before we move on, a huge thank you to all the bus stop students for your participation. My name is Jo Field and I'm the Executive Manager, Disability and Community Development at Feros Care. Today's launch is a significant day for our local area coordination team and the participants we support through the NDIS. We are so proud that each of the films you're about to see feature the many people we support through the scheme. These are the participants we work with to help build individual capacity to support them to live their best lives. By sharing their lived experience in our film series, these Fearless film stars are acting as ambassadors for all people with disability and helping break down barriers and stereotypes and raising awareness of the contribution they each make in our economy, our workplaces, and our communities. What is significant about today's launch is the intention to coincide the release of Fearless Season 4 to align with celebrations leading up to International Day of People with Disability. International Day of People with Disability is a day on the global calendar that aims to promote public awareness, understanding, and acceptance of people with disability. Our aim is to use these Fearless films to challenge the way we all think about disability and help grow a more inclusive Australian workforce. Okay, I've probably teased you enough now. Let's get the film screening premiere started, shall we? I now invite you to relax and enjoy this next 30 minutes as we share our outstanding collection in our 6-part series of Fearless Films Season 4. And please, I encourage you all to interact with us during the screening. Please join in the conversation. You can like and comment on today's live feed as you watch the films this evening. Here is Fearless Films Season 4, Films of People with Disability Carving Careers.
On screen, around 20% of Australians live with disability. Most of them face barriers in accessing employment.
My name is Emma Linham, and I'm the owner of Master Shredder.
Emma shreds a document. Opening credits: Natalie Curtis, the working supermum; Elijah Arantz, the motivator; Emma Linham, the entrepreneur; Melissa Kirkman, the artist; Hannah Smedley, the musician; Adam Broadstock, the man about town. Fearless Season 4, Films of People with Disability Carving Careers. The entrepreneur.
My business specialty is the destruction of confidential documents. With over 50 clients and 5 years experience, I do my job well. As you might have figured out, I have Down syndrome. This seems to play at the forefront of many people's minds before they get to know me.
She's very good at reading people. We would walk into a situation and, you can feel the people like, oh, what's she doing here? And so, of course, then Emma would feel that and react to that. I did make an approach to employment providers and I was told, Mrs. Linham, your daughter's not going to be able to work. You need to accept that. To backtrack a little bit, when she was in high school, they sometimes would take the Year 12s to the office to do work experience, or shredding was the only part that Emma liked. And so I'm sitting in meditation and I can see her at school shredding. Then I realised, oh my goodness, that's it. I initially sent out hundreds of letters to all kinds of businesses talking about Emma and how she could shred their confidential documents. Nobody got back to me. So then I looked at, well, who does have a need for a confidential service? So I approached a legal firm. They agreed to give her a go. They opened the door for her with another legal firm. Then she got a financial institution, by which time she had trashed 5 of those small shredders. So we then had to look at investing in something a bit more durable, which turned out to be a big commercial shredder.
Support worker Samantha.
Emma is drastically different to the other shredding companies in Townsville. She is entirely on-site, entirely confidential, and she can't read. So the best you'll get is Emma going, oh my God, that's a gorgeous photo, and then shredding it.
Her offer as a business model is so unique. It's exactly what we needed. We tried looking for other businesses for a couple of years before we decided, but it just wasn't ticking the boxes, and we didn't feel comfortable that the confidentiality wasn't ensured because it was taken off site. And with Emma's non-verbal, non-reading, in brackets, disability, we actually saw as an ability.
Emma signs.
You take the bags, yeah. And where do you put them? You take the bag to the avocado trees.
On the sunny avocado farm of David and Adele Bambling, shredded paper is being used as mulch.
Well, sustainability is, for us is important. The shredded paper helps with weed control, so we're not using as much pesticide, and also helps with water retention in under the trees. It's just excellent mulch.
Emma and Samantha watch the farmers mulching.
She's one of the most dedicated people I've ever met. When she gets to work, she will not stop. And there's some days where she'll overfill her shredder because she's working that hard.
She's probably the hardest working person in this office. She comes in here, gets her job done, walks away. She never complains, and she does probably something that's really, really important for our business, which is protecting the privacy of our clients day in, day out.
The peace of mind of working with someone who has an amazing work ethic has been really beneficial.
She's definitely dedicated to shredding paper, there's no doubt about that.
If she's sick of waiting for us, she'll just move that shredder out of the way herself.
Emma playfully throws a handful of shredded paper at Samantha.
The name of the business is an interesting little story. Every now and then I was throwing ideas at her and she would just look at me, roll her eyes and go, oh, Mummy, no. And then one day she had been watching Ninja Turtles and I said to her, what do you think about Master Shredder?
Me? Yeah.
That's me.
That's you, the Master Shredder. Seeing Emma in the community and not needing my help is very rewarding in a world where she is kind of directed to not make choices and not given the capacity or the option to even learn to make those choices. These days, she's learning more and more how to do things without our help. She's expressed that she wants to learn how to drive so she can do that aspect of work herself as well.
Mum, Joanne.
Yes, there are a lot of challenges, but they're not insurmountable. Nothing is.
Communicating with someone with a disability, especially someone who's non-verbal, can be perceived as difficult. We've learnt to be able to communicate effectively with her. It's not Auslan, it's Emma. We talk Emma.
In a bar.
Emma being employed has been transformational. That's afforded her a huge confidence. She was willing and confident enough to explore the concept of what life might look like if I moved out. And for the first year when she moved out, did she party, just as any young person does.
Sam.
She's opened my horizons with all of that because I'm not the type of person who finishes work and goes out, but she gets me out and she enjoys it, she makes me enjoy it.
Emma using a tablet.
Because I work, I am able to do what I enjoy most. And I am able to pay off my own mortgage.
Photos around Emma's house.
Your home?
Oh.
Yeah, you like your home, yeah.
Emma on the couch with Sam.
As a parent, to see my daughter soar is just, it is so gratifying. And so I look where she is now with her own business, moved out into her own property that she is paying off. They are amazing achievements for any young person.
I suppose we love Emma because she doesn't let her disability stand in the way of what she wants to achieve, and that's to be an independent businesswoman.
If there's one thing that I could say to another mum who might be feeling the way I felt when Emma was coming up to the end of school, just for a moment, go back to when you were pregnant. What was the dream that you had? Don't focus on the disability, focus on the unique an amazing young person in front of you and drive that forward.
Clients.
It's been amazing watching Emma's growth, to see her confidence grow, her independence. It's been so useful for us to have someone who's so competent at what they do come in and work for us.
As long as I'm in real estate, for however many years ahead, Emma's always got a position with us.
The paper has been a huge benefit to us.
Oh yeah, if anyone needs document shredding, call Master Shredder. It's awesome. It really is.
Emma Shredding.
The opportunity to work not only provides me the capacity to support myself, but it also strips away the labels that people place on me. I am not a burden. I am not simple, difficult, or a child. I am Emma Linham, the boss and owner of Master Shredder.
On screen, this film was created inclusively with people with disability. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this film was made and pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Directed by Julian Newhouse. Executive producer Tanya Sim. Producer Julian Newhouse. Audio description by Fran Matthey Description Services. An Ironbark Films production. Copyright Feros Care 2022. Feros Care Grow Bold. Resources at feroscare.com.au/let's work. On screen, around 20% of Australians live with disability. Most of them face barriers in accessing employment.
My name is Anissa, and I'm 21, and I'm an artist.
Opening credits: Natalie Curtis, the working supermum; Elijah Arantz, the motivator; Emma Linham, the entrepreneur; Melissa Kirkman, the artist; Hannah Smedley, the musician; Adam Broadstock, the man about town. Fearless, Season 4. Films of people with disability carving careers. The artist.
Before I paint,
Melissa says, before I paint, I do it on paper first and I put it on a big surface.
I paint things that make me happy.
I like showing more art to people, make them happy and have joy in their lives. My business is about Kirkman's.
See?
She holds up her logo. Mum Danielle.
As a child, she was always sort of wanting to give everything a go that she could. We always struggled with her being able to read and write, but she could draw a picture to tell us. And that was her way of communicating with us. Autism has a big stigma. Like, you look at the kids and you wouldn't know any different in some respects, especially as Mel, she has Down syndrome as well. So she's got lots of challenges. I mean, every day that they actually go out, it's a lot harder sensory, emotionally, and it takes a lot for them to keep up with everything in their everyday lives. She was asked to paint a picture for Pisaccio Art Studios with the Down Syndrome Society, and they enlarged an image for her onto a board, and she just went for it in the studio and painted it for the day, and since then my house just became an art studio for her.
Melissa painting.
When she first left school, we did look at the School Leavers program and looking at options of open employment, but she found a lot of people wouldn't give her the go.
Printed t-shirts. Melissa says, I started my business from COVID lockdown. I got bored, so I started painting. Ellen from Tutti Arts.
So Melissa's been attending our Port Adelaide studio since 2019. While she's been here, she's worked a lot on her skills in terms of drawing. She's particularly interested in drawing people and different forms that they take as they move. And as part of our program, she's been in multiple group exhibitions and participated in the Adelaide Fringe and Sala festivals.
Arthur from Red.
Melissa's very creative. She's got incredible tenacity and drive, and she's very much passionate about what she believes in. And so they are key ingredients for a young budding entrepreneur to have.
The RED program is about helping young adults with disabilities to create and start their own business. So I thought, well, this is an option we haven't thought of before. Let's see how that goes and whether that's an option for her. The process was all about getting a bank account, getting an ABN, getting a tax file number. So there were all those sort of processes that we worked through at home that year. Her original thought was to design clothes, but obviously that was quite big, so we went at looking at putting her paintings and artwork on the t-shirts.
Melissa says, Arthur from Red is a very cool guy. He helped me to open my own website for my business.
We've seen her go through the program. She's worked with one of our coaches and mentors. and she's been able to diversify a lot of the products and things that she's created.
And now we are doing some snow globes and some coffee cups.
I knew that Melissa did some art and I had seen some of her robot designs, and one day when we were boxing she was talking about that she was wanting to come up with a new design and was a little bit stuck on some ideas, and so I just sort of suggested and said I wonder if there was a fitness robot that we could look at, and about a week later she came back with a little concept of Robbie the robot, power to move robot, and so we decided that we would collaborate.
I like being a businesswoman. I like my job, and sometimes I'm very busy.
My hands are getting so sore, I do so much painting.
So much painting.
Addressing the envelopes, putting them in the postal box, posting them, going to the post office to get more postal bags, going to get the scans done. And she does all that sort of side of it. And the only thing that I'd probably do for her is her invoices and paperwork.
She has so much on the go all the time. She's in cheer, she's going to national comps this year. She's also going to the Special Olympics this year. She's also being asked to speak at more events. She is a very busy young woman.
Melissa says, I like promoting my business. I like get all the posters up over the whole town.
In the whole town, post
something on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram.
Every time I walk into the local AGA and I see a poster up there, I have a smile on my face. It's a really good feeling.
Our relationship with Mel is ever evolving, and it really is stemming from her and her growth of what she wants to do with her business as well.
Well, she's now starting to look at actually doing contract work, putting Robot Man onto different businesses and entities that she's engaging with, and we're actually going to be contracting her to be able to do something for us. We're really excited about that.
A little boy. Melissa says, my brother is very cool. We sing together and we're in a band.
We're in a band.
We are called Kirkmans, and our music is on Spotify and people can listen to us.
Listen to us.
He's definitely her little supporter in all of it. I really want Charlie to be able to have his opportunities as he grows older, and by seeing his sister having her independence and having her ability to do something that she loves will in turn encourage Charlie to follow his own dreams as he gets older. I have great parents that have always been there for Melissa as well. It's the family support and connection that has got her through.
Melissa hugs her mum.
We are very blessed to have the opportunity to engage with people who have a lived experience and see the talent that exists. That talent needs to be out there in our community.
They contribute to our business, but we're also helping contribute to the skills that they need out there in the general world.
Be supportive of what your child wants to do. Embrace their dreams and go with it, because you'll be surprised at how much joy they will have in their own lives and be confident in themselves. You've got to start small and build towards it. And I would never have imagined 2 years ago how far Melissa's come with her business.
For a young person with a disability to have the opportunity to set up a micro enterprise is life-changing. The benefits that flow throughout your organisation are enormous.
What Melissa has shown me and my clients in our business is that disability doesn't mean that you can't actually live a really fulfilling life. Just knowing that she can do something shows someone else that maybe there's some potential for them too.
Wearing one of her own shirts, Melissa says, I am very proud of myself and my work. I love it so much. On screen, this film was created inclusively with people with disability. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this film was made and pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Directed by Julian Newhouse. Executive producer Tanya Sim. Producer Julian Newhouse. Audio description by Fran Mathy Description Services. An Ironbark Films production. Copyright Feros Care 2022. Feros Care Grow Bold. Resources at feroscare.com.au/let's work. On screen, around 20% of Australians live with disability. Most of them face barriers in accessing employment. Opening credits: Natalie Curtis, the working supermum; Elijah Arantz, the motivator; Emma Lynham, the entrepreneur; Melissa Kirkman, the artist; Hannah Smedley, the musician; Adam Broadstock, the man about town. Fearless Season 4. Films of people with disability carving careers. The Man About Town.
Adam is a fun, loving, outgoing person. He's always got a smile on his face.
He was a good kid. He started off difficult with his autism and his intellectual impairment as well. Screaming and not eating, not communicating. A big job for the teachers. But looking at him now as an adult, you would never know that's the same person.
You always knew where Adam was at school because there was threads of socks everywhere, because Adam used to go through a pair of socks a day, basically. He would spring up sometimes behind you and, oh, hello, Miss Beck, and just, yeah, a delightful person, a bit mischievous at times as well, and cheekiness, but you like that. You like him to have a bit of spunk.
How did we start, Adam?
Adam Special Delivery?
Yes, we started, it was actually Mum that was the one that got it all started up and running.
When he was in year 11, there was a couple of students prior to him that didn't do really good coming out of school. So we sat down and thought, well, what can we do? He likes to drive, he likes to talk to people, let's just go on, he can jump in the car, go pick up mail from someone. It just went from there.
For the past 10 years, we've had Adam pick up and collect our mail. It's allowed us to add productivity in the workplace by keeping a staff member in-house rather than doing a mail run.
We look forward to Adam visiting us each week, coming in and saying hellos and nice greetings.
He's always ready to go. He's at the door, ready to go, big smile on his face. I could be coming to his place of a morning, having a bad morning, and then I get to Adam and he's just so excited to be going out and doing what he loves.
His business is called Adam's Special Deliveries, ASD, standing for Autism Spectrum Disorder. We're proud of our autistic man, so we wanted to get out there and build awareness while he's walking around the community with it on his back. They get to see, you know, the big ASD letters.
So when Adam is actually working, he is focus driven, goes to where he needs to be and opens the mailbox, looks for the mail. He's focused on where he is and what he's doing.
Always on time, always got a smile on his face. He's always got something interesting to say.
Most places he goes in, gets the mail by himself, then he'll go in and deliver it to the people by himself, get the folder signed. And when we're out having lunches and that, he can order his own lunch. I'm just really there just as a facilitator.
I think with him having the business, it's kept him, I'm a working man, I'm wearing my uniform. He enjoys going to the different places.
Support worker Barbara.
What do we do after you finish work?
Go back to your place.
No, you don't go to my place. What do we do?
Go have lunch.
And with who?
Jack and Mickey.
Or your friends, don't you?
Yeah.
Do we often do barbecues, don't we?
Yes.
Hey?
Adam says, I like sitting around playing my game. Yes, help me unwind. I like going out in Grandad's Dodge.
The Dodge is Grandad's. And it's just it's a connection between him and Grandad. Just going for a drive around town, out to the beaches, the parks. Just two lads hanging out together.
With his job, I think that's been the making of Adam. It's been something that's given him a huge responsibility.
His communication skills and his vocabulary have increased.
He's been able to make some wonderful friends and broaden his community as far as being able to mix with other people at all different levels, not so much just in the disability community.
The way that the community sees him is a lot different too. They don't treat him like he's that disabled person. He's a member of the community and they think he's all right and they think he's pretty cool. He picks up on that and he feeds off it. I think that's inclusion. Yes, that is inclusion.
Adam makes a delivery to Mackay Special School.
Well, having Adam's service certainly eases the load on our office staff.
He assists us with our mail deliveries and does our mail runs for us, and any ad hoc deliveries that we need or pickups around town, we use Adam's Special Deliveries.
Having mail dropped off is crucial to continuing in business. Without Adam, I would have to have someone do that service, and he does an excellent job. I think we have succeeded a lot more with him on board.
Adam's grown the business to the point now where he's satisfied, he's comfortable with the people that he's got.
Mum Paula.
I think it's important to be inclusive when you're talking about employment in the workplace. There are so many different jobs and skills around that there's enough for everyone to do.
Not only does it give an opportunity to the worker, but it creates a more compassionate and a more inclusive society, which is what we all want.
It works both ways. Adam supports us and I think we support him as well.
Teacher Rebecca.
People with disabilities are just the same as you and I. We have feelings, we have thoughts, we have ideas, we have dreams, aspirations, and he wants the same as everybody else.
Very often people with disability don't have issues and problems. They show many people how to actually become a social butterfly and how to interact with people just being themselves.
They may have some unique characters, but they're still wonderful and very helpful people within our community.
Adam picks up some mail.
It makes me proud. Yeah, it makes me proud to be able to do this with him as well.
I'm proud of what he's accomplished. I'm proud of what we did to get him to this point. He comes home happy, goes out happy. Yeah, I am just we're all really proud of Adam.
He's known by everybody and everybody knows that he is just a really beautiful, jovial guy that has so much to give.
I am a man about town.
Adam in his blue and yellow uniform smiling broadly. On screen, this film was created inclusively with people with disability. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this film was made and pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Directed by Julian Newhouse. Executive producer Tanya Sim. Producer Julian Newhouse. Audio description by Fran Matthey Description Services. An Ironbark Films production. Copyright Feros Care 2022. Feros Care Grow Bold. Resources at feroscare.com.au/let's work. On screen, people with disability are 40% more likely to be self-employed than their non-disabled counterparts. A wheelchair user.
My name's Natalie Curtis. I'm 34 years old and I'm the Director for Vital Supports and Services in Townsville.
Opening credits: Natalie Curtis, the working supermum; Elijah Arantz, the motivator; Emma Lynham, the entrepreneur; Melissa Kirkman, the artist; Hannah Smedley, the musician; Adam Broadstock, the man about town. Fearless, Season 4. Films of people with disability carving careers. The working supermum, Natalie Curtis.
My ex-husband and I were trying for a baby for many years and was unable to conceive. We went and seen an IVF doctor and he told me to forget about having children and move on with my life. Literally a week later, I get a call from my ex-husband's cousin saying she was pregnant, didn't want the baby. Did we want the baby? A few months after him being born, he wasn't reaching certain milestones, and as a mother you kind of know when something's just not right.
Natalie making lunches.
I started Vital Supports as I was personally struggling to find service providers that provided good care. It was just heartbreaking that these service providers were sending support workers that weren't matched to Malachi's needs.
Friend and mentor Davin.
We obviously talked about it. We discussed obviously the challenges of being disabled, being a mother as well, and then trying to get, other people to have trust in you as a businesswoman with a disability looking after disabled people.
It was a bit of a roller coaster. Trying to run a business, trying to play basketball for Australia. It was a really big year last year. My husband and I separated and my landlord wanted his house back and I was homeless, literally had nowhere to live. There was no wheelchair accessible houses that I could move into. So a friend took me in Malachi, so we were living in a little bedroom. I had to find my feet, remain strong because I had a 5-year-old that looked up to me and had to put my life back together.
Natalie tidies the kitchen.
Being the only person or director running the show, I was liable for people's pays. So if invoices hadn't been paid, I didn't have any money to pay my workers. So I spent many a nights up late stressing about how I was going to pay my workers.
Natalie setting up for a team meeting in the office.
I never thought it would grow to the extent it has in 18 months, so I can definitely see it keep continuing to grow with the amazing workers that I have and the admin and the support that I've got.
Meeting with a colleague.
I work for Sporting Wheelies, where we get to go into schools where they get to learn about what my life is like in a wheelchair. I'm also an ambassador for the Australian Institute of Sport, Share Your Yarn, which focuses on going into remote communities and speaking to Indigenous students about the sports that are available for them.
Natalie driving.
When I was younger, they didn't have these type of things. They didn't have people, role models like me, where I know when I go into a classroom and there's one child in a wheelchair, you can give the rest of his class a go in a wheelchair and they can actually experience what this child has to go through.
A basketball hoop.
Making other people and classmates understand what their life is like gives them a different perspective and actually makes them accept them all within their class. I know, during some of my schooling years, I was left in a classroom while my friends and my classmates were out doing PE. There was no inclusion, yet I'm the one that goes on to play for Australia. It was only 1992 that the Disability Act actually even came out, so it is only in the last 15, 20 years that we are actually being accepted.
A related news article.
I met Davin 15, 20 years ago as a young girl playing wheelchair basketball.
Well, Natalie and I share a lot of interest together, and we very much like to do things that I suppose probably a lot of disabled people wouldn't think you should do or you could do.
I really only have one life. There's no point me dwelling on the things that I can't do, so I just focus on what I can do and keep pushing through. Sports for me is what changed me. Without sports, I definitely wouldn't be the person I am today. Many of the skills that I've learnt within basketball I've applied to my business. Being competitive, working as a team, so it's given me the drive to get up every morning and keep going and make a difference in my life. Bear has the exact same passion.
She always, when she comes down to a roadblock, so to speak, she will always reach out.
We've become very close friends over the years, and now he actually works for me as one of my support workers.
Watching her grow a business from scratch, knowing the struggles that other people might face, has been, really incredible. She kind of understands, I suppose, what other participants are going through, so she's able to help them better because she's been there herself.
From employee Jenna to client Kim.
Last year, I was admitted to hospital for a back injury and degeneration of my spine, and took them 10 months to sort of figure that it was a bit worse than they thought at first, and lots of tests proving that everything else is fine but not my back, and I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And they tried me on rehab and stuff like that, but nothing was working.
The rental market as is, there is literally no accessible houses in Townsville. There is, but they're all taken. So trying to find a unit that was going to be suitable for him, myself, anyone with a disability is near on impossible. So to find a house that has been completely renovated to his needs is like winning the lottery, to be honest. Kim, we have a new unit for you, and it's fully wheelchair accessible and it's all yours.
Thank you. Oh, jeez.
It's yours. It's yours. How exciting.
Good news.
It is excellent news.
She gives him his key.
You know exactly what people need, in wheelchairs, because you got one yourself.
I gave him the house knowing that his life is going to be completely different now. He has his independence back.
Natalie in a meeting.
I think she just wants to do good by the people that she cares for, and she puts them way ahead of herself sometimes.
Natalie on the phone at her desk.
I'm just so damn proud of her and her achievements, of how far and how many different people she's helped and overcome the challenges for both them and herself.
The school run.
When I look back on the achievements in my life, the most proudest is obviously Malachi. Obviously my other achievements, playing for Australia and creating such an amazing business where, The community is starting to recognise who Vital is, and growing my business from only having 2 workers to now having close to 50. My hopes for Malachi when he enters the workplace in 15 years' time is to be fully accepted. 1 in 5 people have a disability. They all need to be accepted in the workplace because they've also got bills that they need to pay. People often say to me that I'm an inspiration because I'm a person with a disability living my life. I don't see myself as an inspiration, I just see myself as getting up and living a normal life. If you have a dream of starting a business, do it. It's literally your life. You want to make something of it, you need to do it. No one else can do it for you.
Natalie beaming outside the shop front of Vital Supports and Services. On screen, this film was created inclusively with people with disability. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this film was made and pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Directed by Julian Newhouse. Executive producer Tanya Sim. Producer Julian Newhouse. Audio description by Fran Matthey Description Services. An Ironbark Films production. Copyright Feros Care 2022. Feros Care Grow Bold. Resources at feroscare.com.au/let's work. There are 500,000 people in the creative industry in Australia. Only 1 in 11 of them live with disability.
My name is Hannah Smedley. I am 20 years old and I am a singer-songwriter based in Adelaide.
Opening credits: Natalie Curtis, the working supermum; Elijah Arantz, the motivator; Emma Lynham, the entrepreneur; Melissa Kirkman, the artist; Hannah Smedley, the musician; Adam Broadstock, the man about town. Fearless, Season 4. Films of people with disability carving careers. The musician, Hannah at a keyboard.
When I write a song, I would start off with, that the first note and then the ending note, and then I just join it together on the piano. When I started writing classic jewellery, I just had this feeling of I feel like people don't look at me like I'm me. I felt like, a lot of people didn't see me as Hannah. They just saw me as, someone who's on the spectrum.
Purple shirts and braided hair still ain't hiding who I truly am.
I never taught her how to play piano. I never taught her to sing.
Mum Sharon.
It was even on the ukulele. That's how I started writing music. I can't read music very well, but I can hear it. I just started slowly playing it around my mum, and I was around her friend, and they were saying, "Who's this song from? I really like it." And I was like, "Oh, I wrote it." And then they were like, "Oh my gosh, you need to record that."
In the music video for Plastic Jewellery, Hannah's underwater, then running into the shallows on a beach. A childhood photo.
It was a discovery with Hannah. We'd be discovering new things as she grew because we didn't know that she was ASD or on the spectrum. She had this thing with singing. That's how she learnt to sing, but she had some real difficulties with language. It took her a long time to actually speak and people hear and understand her. She certainly walked to her own beat, not anybody else's.
I did work at a law firm.
And at first that was really good. It was exciting. She was meeting new people. It became really difficult when her supervisor took a disliking to her. I don't think she really fully got Hannah.
Felt like I wasn't important. I'm not asking to be nurtured in that workplace. I'm asking for respect.
She knew that wasn't the place for her.
Hannah at a studio.
So I am a vocal coach at Lift Up Voices. It's a music studio. You go in there and you have the access to record your own music. I actually started going to Lift Up Voices as an artist.
We had a position become available for her to join our coaching team. Hannah has a handful of artists that she coaches and mentors each week. And I think one of the special parts about what she does here is that she's able to bring her lived experience into the studio. And a lot of her artists are young women who are looking for that mentorship and that role model. And she really is able to connect with them and provide them support in a way that some of the other coaching staff can't.
Owner Tori Marshall.
Music is not just my job. It's also a personal therapy for me. It helps me communicate better with people.
Singing in our home, we do a lot of it in the car. That's kind of like a release for us. We just build out a tune. I've got a convertible and the roof comes off and we just go for it. There are times for her where it's very personal and I know that she's going through a hard time because she will disappear and she will write songs about something that she hasn't understood and trying to make sense of her world.
Music has been my safe haven and helped me through very difficult times in my life.
Hannah's probably been through a lot for a young girl. She was very close to her brother and he passed away 6 months ago.
A teenage photo of him.
She would watch us cry and didn't know when was the right time to cry, when was it. So music for her was a beautiful expression.
Hannah at her keyboard.
Aaron had struggled a lot, but he was my biggest supporter. I've written a song about him and I'm not sure what to call it yet, but he would be so proud.
Hannah performing for family and friends at home.
I won this competition. It was for the Civic Park Carols. I just sang Oh Holy Night in front of the judges, and I kind of just wanted to, instead of singing it, I wanted to look at that judge, giving that connection, that magic, I guess you could say.
She was picked to perform in front of 45,000 people because she sang it in a way that no one else sang it.
I was the opening act and oh my goodness, I was so terrified that I didn't realise I was terrified. As soon as I saw the crowd, I was like, oh, this is it.
Hannah singing with a guitar on her couch.
When it comes to writing songs, it's not easy. The advice I would give to people with disabilities who are passionate with music and, recording and songwriting is that, do it your own way.
Sharon.
What I've learned from Hannah is that it's okay for you to do things your way. You don't actually have to fit into that little round hole.
Hannah's audience applauds her.
I've later realised that autism is nothing to be ashamed of. It's a gift that I'm very proud to have.
Tori.
I think inclusion really needs to be disability-led, so that's why it's great to see people like Hannah creating pathways for that to happen.
As I go further in my music career, I don't want to be known as the singer, the artist who is on the autism spectrum. I would like to be known as Hannah, who is a singer-songwriter, and I'm here to inspire, whether I'm on the autism spectrum or not. So.
Hannah laughs as she plays guitar. On screen, this film was created inclusively with people with disability. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this film was made and pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Directed by Julian Newhouse. Executive producer Tanya Sim. Producer Julian Newhouse. Audio description by Fran Matthey Description Services. An Ironbark Films production. Copyright Feros Care 2022. Feros Care Grow Bold. Resources at feroscare.com.au/let's work. Around 20% of Australians live with disability. Most of them face barriers in accessing employment.
My name is Elijah Arantz. I am 21 years old and I am a motivational speaker.
Opening credits: Natalie Curtis, the working supermum; Elijah Arantz, the motivator; Emma Lynham, the entrepreneur; Melissa Kirkman, the artist; Hannah Smedley, the musician; Adam Broadstock, the man about town. Fearless, Season 4. Films of people with disability carving careers. The motivator: Elijah in a gym.
What I love about doing sport is getting out there and feel that sense of being alive.
We just used to call him Forrest because he ran. He absolutely just loved any type of sport. He was training for running 5 days a week, as well as basketball and jiu-jitsu, and then wanted to chuck tennis in there as well. We were just like, mate, you gotta pull back.
Mum Robin.
In November 2015, I went skydiving.
As soon as you see them and they're actually coming down, you have this sense of relief of, okay, All is good. The chute opened fine. Elijah and I were calling to each other, and then out of the blue, just this gust of wind came and it got trapped in the parachute and brought them down.
We didn't land like normal people land when skydiving.
When they called for an ambulance and then they called for a chopper, that's when you knew it was really bad.
A newspaper article.
Tony was the skydiving instructor. He positioned himself to take all the impact so that I had a chance of surviving.
A hospital.
We were told that our boy was really, really unwell, and that was sort of the extent. They tried to slowly pull him out of the coma, but he wasn't responding very well. The accident was at the end of November. He really just started to wake up in about April. Our houses had to be modified. Our careers obviously were changed a bit as well, or just everything is different, but it's our new normal.
A week after the accident, my dad, in his emotional state, decided that he would run every day until I'm back walking.
Jose did a lot of whispering into his ear. He'd always tell him the basketball scores as well. And prior to the accident, Elijah challenged himself to run every day for a year. Jose decided that he would run every day until Elijah was walking. And he has continued to do so.
Just quietly. I didn't think he thought it would be this long. He still hates running.
A family photo.
When I came out of the coma, I had to relearn how to do everything again. Rehab is just like a big game of chess. I always think that there's stuff to improve. It's a game that will take the rest of my life.
His physio said, you know what, I think Elijah's ready to start doing something else, like maybe Pilates or yoga, and I kind of went, whoa, hang about. If he's ready to do that, what do you think about BJJ? It's good for Elijah because a lot of the stuff is done on the ground, and for someone who's, learning how to re-walk again, it's perfect.
I love training with my dad on the mat because it gives me an opportunity to choke him out and make him suffer.
This is a kid in a wheelchair, yet he's still managing to beat me up, so to speak.
One night we were training and I was just going to town on my dad. The next morning he woke up and he had bruises all over his chest area.
Yeah, he holds his own.
Trainer Joey.
I remember when he first came in, he was in his wheelchair with the back hunched over, to now he's standing up straighter than ever, walking up by himself without any assistance. So I wanted to push him in the city to surf so he knew what it would be like to cross the line again.
We have made a commitment to run the city to surf each year together.
Banners in Sydney advertising the city to surf.
So the NDIA funded him, which is part of occupational therapy, which is finding and keeping a job. We were referred to a company called the Rehabilitation Specialist.
2 years ago, we employed Elijah as our happiness ambassador and social media coordinator. Elijah was actually a client of ours, and every time he came in, he just lifted the spirits of the team. As the social media coordinator, I guess one of the challenges always in that space is having people in the team voluntarily want to be on social media, and Elijah just has this energy about him that makes people want to take part in these activities.
That was just, Elijah just being Elijah and them creating a job for him.
He was just the perfect fit for our workplace.
I think the happiness that he brings just seems to rub off on everyone else, and everyone seems to have a good day once they've had engagement with Elijah.
Colleague Cass.
In my free time, I like to do motivational speaking. It does make me feel very proud of myself because I can see that what I'm saying is getting through to people and that I'm leaving an impression on them.
He's been invited on a number of occasions to speak in front of crowds, and I guess after the first couple he kind of realised he liked it, gave him a sense of purpose. He felt proud that he was able to help people out.
I'm a young man with a severe traumatic brain injury, and I would like to tell you about how I got to where I am.
My goal every time I go out onto the stage is to make an impact on at least one person in the crowd as a young man that has survived a horrific skydiving accident and he's come out better on the other side.
Family and I would be today.
His speech on the night had everything. He was articulate, he had a great sense of humour, but he also shared his raw story. He received a standing ovation at the end, and he is literally one of the best speakers we've ever had at one of our functions.
Elijah is an amazing motivational speaker. He's very passionate about what he speaks about. He's very open about his background and what he's been through, and he's very welcoming of other people.
It was kind of another way of saying thanks to all the nurses that have helped and progressed me to where I am today. Nurses play an important role in my recovery.
We chose Elijah this year because we wanted someone with lived experience and someone who could come and speak about how the nurses have impacted their lives and how nurses have truly made a difference in their life.
Melissa Box.
I think that everyone needs to be given a go. You know, it's challenging, but it's so rewarding when you help people.
It's not about the disability, but it's about having a role, having your goals, having the ownership of what you're doing day to day and being supported to achieve that.
I say that we are extremely lucky for a hideously unlucky situation. The doctors hadn't expected him to survive those first 72 hours. He got his Year 12 certificate, he's now got a job, he's pursuing motivational speaking. There's nothing that he can't do.
Elijah laughing with his personal trainer.
Seeing everything he's done from, you know, the day I met him to now just makes me feel good as a personal trainer and as a mate to see those improvements.
Tony would be extremely proud of the man that I am aiming to become.
Footage of Elijah with his family and Joey at the City to Surf.
I work every day and refuse to give up because I know that he gave me that fighting chance.
The finish line.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, Elijah crossing that line.
On screen, this film was created inclusively with people with disability. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this film was made and pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Directed by Julian Newhouse. Executive producer Tanya Sim. Producer Julian Newhouse. Audio description by Fran Matthey Description Services. An Ironbark Films production. Copyright Feros Care 2022. Feros Care Grow Bold. Resources at feroscare.com.au/let's work.
How good was that? I truly hope you were challenged, encouraged and excited by the films you previewed this evening. We all know paid work is an important part of life. So to get more people with disability into the workforce, we've created a new inclusive employment hub, a place for employers, entrepreneurs and employees to access helpful resources. Be sure to check out our website. If you liked what you saw tonight, please head over to Feros Care Facebook and share the trailer. Let's spread these films far and wide. And if you'd like to share the films, all films are now live on our website at feroscare.com.au. In concluding tonight, we've got a huge surprise for you to preview a worldwide exclusive premiere of our fearless film star Hannah Smedley's new release. Here is Paranoid by Hannah Smedley.
Hello? Don't know about you, but I feel like people don't like me. It gets on my nerves when I make these scenarios in my head. Just wanna smash and play, feeling like I'm insane. How does it feel to be the first choice? Just wanna feel pretty, but this society making me feel like I'm not enough. I get so paranoid, something I should avoid, nothing to do but say you always keep me awake. I get so paranoid that you will not love me and you will hate me, then you society, making me feel like I'm not enough. I get so paranoid.